I'm Victor Fedeli. I'm the MPP for Nipissing. The Patch for Patch program is a program put in place in North Bay to curb the use of fentanyl, which is a prescription drug. It was developed here in North Bay, and it is where you bring your used fentanyl patches back in order to get a new fentanyl patch. The reason is the illicit use of the drug. Somebody gets a prescription, gets it filled, and sells the fentanyl on the illegal market. They either cut it up in small pieces for ingestion, injection, or smoking it. They sell for somewhere around $400 or more a patch. And this way, in order to renew your prescription, you must bring the used patches back, which stops you from selling them on the market. My involvement as a provincial member of parliament is very simple. When the Drug Strategy Committee and the local police service brought this really unique solution that was developed for North Bay, when they brought that to me and said, here's part of the problem of it. The drug dealers can simply go to another Ontario pharmacy and have a prescription renewed. We need this to be pan-Ontario. It's got to be all across Ontario where you can't get fentanyl without a used patch. And so I suggested to them, I will make this a private member's bill. As a legislator, we get one bill every session that we can bring privately on our own. And I had the legislature write the bill that fit this, and which would make it in force all across Ontario. So I'm just the vessel to bring it across Ontario. The real success was here in the city of North Bay. Well, I think this is an unqualified success. Think about the fact that in North Bay over the last half dozen or so years, we had 15 deaths from fentanyl. That's tragic for these families. Across Ontario last year, we had 133 deaths from fentanyl. Ever since the Patch for Patch program was initiated, we've had not one death from fentanyl. So this program has had a dramatic effect. And I think that's really why it needs to be brought province-wide to share that North Bay success with other communities. I know that we've had a lot of calls in our office at Queen's Park and a lot of meetings about this. And as of now, 45 communities in Ontario either have adopted the Patch for Patch program or are about to. So that's just a tremendous success. Well, fentanyl has had remarkable exposure in the last few weeks. It began with Maclean's magazine doing a front cover article, an extensive article on fentanyl. Talked a lot about the North Bay program as well. A lot of other newspapers and media began to start talking fentanyl, and tragically, a few weeks ago, a young couple in British Columbia died from a fentanyl overdose and left a 2-year-old orphan. That brought it up onto the national scale. Again, more and more media came as a result of it, and more attention on the success of this North Bay model. And most recently, the Toronto Police Force, in a nod of acknowledgement to the North Bay service, the Toronto Police Force endorsed my Bill 33, the Patch for Patch bill. So I expect this will come to the legislature. It's passed first and second reading, so it will come to the legislature, to the committee, I'm hoping in September or October. And with the pressure put on by the police forces, the physicians, the pharmacists, the drug strategy committees across Ontario, but especially this extra little kick now from the Toronto Police Force, there's a really good chance, I would expect this could have a chance to be passed into law this year. This again is a prescription drug. So you would think, oh, good, what could be wrong with that? You buy your little quarter-inch square from a drug dealer, but unbeknownst to you, the fentanyl on a patch is not spread and dispersed evenly. So when you buy a quarter-inch of it, you're not getting that little quarter-inch share of the patch. You could be getting the entire dosage that has fallen into that area and ingest that, and it kills people. It killed 133 people in Ontario last year. So you're playing roulette with this. That's why fentanyl, that's why the Drug Strategy Committee here in North Bay went after fentanyl, because it has killed 15 people in our own community, and that's why we're trying to make it a provincial law. And quite frankly, when it passes here as a provincial law, I would not be surprised to see it replicated right across the country. Alberta rivals Ontario now in terms of fentanyl deaths. So this is something I could see happening nationwide. Well, I think this focus on North Bay would simply have people look in admiration at our Drug Strategy Committee and our Police Service Committee. When you think of all of these groups across the province or country, they get together, they do a study and it sits on a shelf. This isn't like that. This is a genuine, heartfelt solution to a terrible problem locally, provincially, and nationally. So I think all kudos to the North Bay Police Service, our Drug Strategy Committee, and all the people that are involved in working with people who sadly are addicted. Sadly, at Queen's Park, things tend to be political. This is not a political private member's bill. This is a nonpartisan bill. People are dying in all 107 political ridings. I would hope that this stays out of the political fray at Queen's Park and enters into compassionate, productive discussion at committee where we look for improvements for the bill, improve it to the point that the government will call it for third reading this year, and it will start to save lives right across the province.